Howdy, folks. What's going on? Alan Hatfield back at you one more time, guys. I know I'm late. Uh, Matt got a little ran away tonight, but I am here. Trying to get things set up everywhere else, so give me a second, and I will be right there. Uh, whoever thought that a top five would take an hour and 20 minutes? See, this is why I should have just said no and left. But no, 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 can't do it. Love Matt to death. So, anyway, let's see who's hanging around out there right now. We've got Seven Wonders out there. We got Ozzy out there. Zorro's out there. I'm impressed. That's a name I haven't seen in a while. Rich White. Yeah, well, exactly. It's okay though. It's okay. It is all good, as they say. Um, let's see here. I'm over on the Gun Channel side at the moment, editing things, trying to get everything up and running. So, Gary, if you're out there listening, I've shot you a link if you'd like to jump in here, if you're still awake. You know what? I'm just going to do this because I am lazy. There you go. So anybody that wants to jump in, there's a link. Have at it. We'll have us a free for all tonight because I really didn't have anything planned. Um, I mean that's just the God's honest truth right there. I had zilch planned for this night, which is nothing new because I very rarely have anything planned. Hey Gary, how are you, sir?
I'm still awake, barely.
Yeah, I know. I tell you what, you can kick me in the nuts when you see me.
Well, I was going to do that anyway.
Well, I've kind of figured. You know, it's just one of those things. I'm gonna see Ellis. I'm gonna kick him in the nuts.
You got to say hi somehow.
Yeah, exactly. I don't take it personally, and that would be okay for you. You know, you don't wear like cowboy boots or anything, so
Nah.
as long as I ain't got to worry about all of that, I'm good.
Just wear a cup. That's all I got to say.
Things are uncomfortable, bro. And I'm still over on gun channels trying to get things settled in over there. I think I finally got it up and going. So what's going on with you? Anything new?
This is my last week of work for 2018.
Oh,
Three
really?
more, 3 more days, and I am done.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah, kind of.
So wait a minute, you're off until the first after the first of the year.
Yes, sir.
How the hell do you manage that?
Worked for the same place for 38 years.
And just decide you don't want to work the last 2 weeks of the year?
Oh, and they give you 6 weeks of vacation every year. It's kind of hard to
Oh
burn.
well, yeah.
And
That,
they make you burn. They make you burn so much, you got to get down to 160 by the end of the year. So,
Yeah.
well,
And then that's one of the perks of seniority. You get to pick when you get your vacations.
that seniority I got, I am the most senior person at that place.
oh, we can believe it.
As of last week, when they had a bunch of They had what they called a voluntary exit program, which is basically they offered early retirement to a bunch of people. So over 100 people took it. And after that was all done, yep, I'm at the top of the seniority list now.
Huh.
Well, for whatever that gets you.
Well, if you worked at the hospital my wife works at, that gives you first crack at every vacation times.
It does. It does for me too, but I don't play it that way with my coworkers and my crew. We do it even.
Now, how else do you explain you getting Christmas off? I mean, come on. Almost the whole Christmas season, Gary, you get off.
There's a three.
That comes with seniority, man.
There's a 3-person. Hey, I work Thanksgiving. I worked that week. My other 2 coworkers got that off. I worked my holiday. I didn't work the holiday, but I worked that week. They all got the whole week off. I didn't. So.
Well, you know.
That's usually the way we do it. Somebody takes Thanksgiving week, and somebody takes a week of Christmas, and somebody takes a week after Christmas. And
Yeah, I'd rather have the Christmas than Thanksgiving.
Yeah, me too. Because I get Fridays off anyway, so if I get Thanksgiving off, I've got a 4-day weekend, so I'm okay with that.
I cannot remember the last time I did not work Christmas.
Well, nobody works on Christmas, except for the vital operating crews and security. But
that's what I'm saying.
Somebody's always out there. It's an operating plant.
I have worked every Christmas for the last 15 years.
I have never worked
Thanksgivings.
I have never worked Christmas Day. Never.
Wow. Yeah, I've last 15, maybe longer than that, 15 years. I have worked every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, Easter, and 4th of July. So the only time it was different was this year, and that's only because I was working at Palmetto State Armory.
Yeah, I worked Easter once, and that was voluntary, working at a supermarket, and I swore I would never volunteer for that again because we were the only goddamn supermarket open in Pittsburgh that day. We were swamped, and we had like 5 people working.
Yeah,
well, if it makes you feel any better, I don't work Christmas, but I still get paid for it.
No, that don't make us feel better. I'm sure that
and
makes
Christmas Eve too.
Yeah, I'm sure that makes you feel a lot better.
And New Year's Day.
Stop bragging, Gary. Nobody likes a braggart. Good Lord.
I didn't tell you how much I made.
I don't want to know. You just keep that information to yourself. We will all be happy.
Mr. Sharkane out there is asking if Homer works Christmas. Homer never.
No, Homer's an operator. I'm not an operator.
Yeah, Homer never works. He's always sleeping, or eating donuts, or in the cafeteria. When on that show has anybody ever seen Homer work, other than the one time where he had to eeny, meeny, miny, moe the button to stop the reactor from melting down? Have they ever actually shown Homer doing anything that was work related at that plant besides that?
You know, I equate Homer Simpson to like George Jetson. Because I remember the George Jetson cartoon where he'd come home complaining that his boss made him push a button that day.
Yeah, well, there were other days where George would come home and his finger was all crooked because he was all busy and everything, pushing like 50 million different buttons.
I push all kinds of buttons out at work, but they're all on a computer keyboard.
Oh, that's basically what George did too. He was pushing buttons on Rudy.
Yeah. Zorro, you need to jump in here, brother. I have not talked to you in forever.
I don't think he has a voice anymore.
He don't have a voice.
No, I think he can just type. That's all he can do.
Uh-oh.
I don't think he really even exists. He needs to prove it. Get in here.
Yeah. Well, there is now photo evidence that I exist.
There is.
Oh yes, there's photo evidence. The Georgia trucker can make a positive identification now. He actually stopped by the shop and seen me last week, and I just thought that was cool, man. Apparently, he don't live but in Savannah, so he's not far from where I work. I just thought that was cool.
Okay. Now, Shark King. Now we got the guy calling himself Shark King out there. I'm going to assume, for sake of argument, that's probably minute range trolling, but I don't know for a fact if that's the case. He's saying he didn't say that. Okay. The Shark King where the X is silent and it's checked. Okay, there. Now we clarified.
I must have missed something somewhere.
Yeah, me too.
The YouTube chat. It's the YouTube chat.
Oh well, I'm reading the YouTube chat and I'm not seeing what you're seeing apparently.
Yeah, apparently not. You don't see where the Shark King says, "I didn't ask that, but thanks for the answer."
Yeah.
Well, that was because I said Shark King was the one to ask the question, referring to obnoxious one.
Well.
He's talking to himself.
No, Ellis. I guess Ellis is in the. What else is new?
Hey, look, Ellis is in a Twilight Zone now. Ellis is beat.
There's Gin Snob. He needs to get in here.
You know that some bitch on Sunday night, instead of jumping in with us, Gary, he was playing freaking Fortnite.
Yeah.
You got to understand, guys, some people have no taste.
After we were finished last night, I popped in on Gun Gals to see what they were doing, and Stacy gave him away. She said if he was in the living room, he was too busy playing Fortnite.
Wow.
Yeah. He don't recall. Yeah, I bet.
Next time, come up with a better excuse. You was at the shooting range. Your house was on fire. You were giving birth. Something.
now that would be something if that's not giving birth.
It could happen. It could happen.
Only on Bewitched, man. Only on Bewitched.
No. Modern technology. Who knows what kind of witch doctors we have out there?
No, I'm going to call no on that one.
Well, it can happen.
No, because any time that anybody said that a man was pregnant, it was always a dream. So no.
What was the movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger got pregnant?
God, I don't know. I wiped that one from memory. You said something about it.
So there you go.
But again, that was a movie.
Yeah,
that's
well,
Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. Okay, not. We're not talking high grade movies here.
Well, I don't think I've ever watched a high grade movie. So there is that. And in fact, how would you define high grade movie?
Not the movie you were just talking about.
One that doesn't come in a plain brown wrapper, I suppose.
Ah.
Yeah, one that as soon as it's released on DVD isn't in the Walmart budget bin.
Oh, okay. So basically, what you're saying that Full Metal Jacket probably wouldn't make it in there.
That's a great movie, though.
Oh, it is a great movie.
Well, that one would have been on VHS originally when it was released, so that doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was on VHS when I saw it.
Yeah, that one wasn't thrown into the budget bin as soon as it came out on VHS. So.
Yeah, well.
That ending on that thing messed me up for a while. That was really something.
I don't know. I've seen some movies. It's like John Wayne movies. I refuse to watch a John Wayne movie where he dies at the end or anywhere in the movie. That just drives me absolutely batty.
Well, there's only like 5 or 6 where he does die.
Well, let's see. He dies in the Saints of Iwo Jima.
Cowboys.
He dies in Cowboys. He dies in the Shootist.
Yep.
Fighting Seabees.
Yep, he dies in that one.
Can you name any other ones?
I'm trying to think.
There's only like a handful that he dies in.
Yeah, I know. And those are the ones I always refuse to watch. I just cannot stand to see John Wayne die. It's no. Come on now.
Well, he dies in off screen in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. So I don't know if that counts or not, because the whole thing is Jimmy Stewart was telling the story because they go to his funeral.
Yeah. Did any of you guys see the remake of True Grit?
Nope,
No.
I refuse.
I watched that movie and I was highly disappointed in it. Now, don't get me wrong, Jeff Bridges is a great actor. I think he is a absolutely phenomenal actor. But how do you remake a John Wayne movie?
I don't know, but Gunsnob, if John Wayne were alive right now, he would smack you upside the head because he said multiple times that his role in Iwo Jima was the best of his career, and that's the one he says he should have won the Academy Award for.
Yeah, he only won one Academy Award,
That was
and that was for True Grit. Yep.
Yeah,
He was nominated several times, only won once.
he was nominated for Sans Iwo Jima and lost.
And he should have won for that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. And as far as Jimmy Stewart goes, I just cannot stand his voice. His voice drove me crazy. Every time I hear that man, to hear him talk was like somebody taking their fingers down a chalkboard to me. God, no. No.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Uh,
There's no accounting for taste.
apparently not.
Jimmy Stewart's one of my favorite actors, so.
Jimmy Stewart, Gilbert Godfrey's another one. Listen to that man talk. This makes me want to choke him.
How you can compare those two is beyond me.
Yeah, really.
Well,
Yeah.
Two very annoying voices. And
You know, Jimmy Stewart didn't talk the same in every film, right?
no, no matter how he talked, it's still that voice of his. Just the way he sounds. To me, that just drove me absolutely batty.
I don't get what Fred is trying to say. Jimmy Stewart wasn't from West Virginia.
Where was Jimmy Stewart from?
The Johnstown, Pennsylvania area.
Well, see, I think what Thread's saying is
he's insulting you, I think.
Yes, that's exactly. And what he don't understand is that don't work with me. But you're gonna have to do better than that if you're trying to insult me.
He's been insulted by the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody in here tonight can hold a candle to some of them I've been insulted by. Let me tell you. I mean, guys like Ghost Tactical and Clover Tech, Midnight Range TM, Matt Hansen.
Wasn't Alan B. Pro involved in that too?
Oh, well, several times, yeah. But
yeah.
We don't talk about Jan much.
Yeah, Jan pops in these chats every once in a while.
The Czech Sharkane says that you're a gun grabber, Ellis.
Oh, yeah, I'm grabbing a gun right now, as a matter of fact.
Oh, no, I got a knife in my hands.
Oh.
Yeah, when nobody's paying attention at the shop, he grabs those Glocks and rubs them and stuff like that.
He plays red bucket with the Glock.
I actually had to go through the Glock cabinet a couple of days ago and reprice several of them.
Did you mark them down?
I'm not going to say one way or the other. But whatever needed to be fixed, I fixed.
Good. Mark some of them bad boys down.
Yeah, I know that'd make you happy.
Well, there's a certain price point I'm looking for. If they get below that, then we might be Glock shopping.
250.
Wow, they ain't gonna get that low.
That's
I
unfortunate.
I paid like $380 something for my 42. That's the cheapest new Glock I ever saw at that time. But you aren't gonna get a full size anything like a 19 that cheap. You'd be lucky to see it under $5. Barely under $5 generally.
The only way I would ever buy a Glock is if I had one of those Ronies to put it in, because I would not be buying one that is a carry thing.
RL got one though. My
Yeah, I
God.
know he did. We were talking. Me and RL were actually talking about this one after his chat a few weeks. Or was it Midnight Ranges chat? Yeah, it was after the closer, because me and him were the only one there. He was driving. I couldn't sleep. His whole shift, the two of us were just talking, right? So we start talking about the whole Glock thing. I'm like, yeah, the only way I'd buy one is if I had a roomie and use it like a PDW. The one thing Gaston Glock did, which I think is really stupid, one of the things I don't like about the Glock, he put a grip on that is more suited to a shoulder-fired weapon than a single handheld handgun. If you put the Glock in the Roni, that is the perfect angle for a shoulder-fired weapon. Because if you look at how your hand goes when you're holding a rifle, and look at the angle on the Glock, you know.
Yeah, it's an angle thing with the Glock, ain't it?
Yeah, that angle is just not comfortable. I just don't like
No,
it.
it is not. And that's the biggest issue I have with the Glock.
To me, I picked it up and fired my first few shots at the range, and they were right on. It's like, well, whatever there is about this thing, it's made for me. Maybe it's just the way my hands grip
It might
or
just be the fact that you haven't had the experience that we've had with handguns either, Gary. The first semi-auto that I've ever used was a 1911, and the Glock's angle is nowhere near like a 1911.
So,
I do own better than half a dozen handguns. It's not the first handgun I ever bought.
Yeah, but you're not. It's not what I wasn't saying it was your first handgun, but people who are less experienced, when they pick up a Glock, tend to like it better. It's just
one of those things.
Yeah.
But when you've shot a few and you're, get a little more experience and you find out what you like and you don't like, and you get used to a certain kind of a grip, and then you go to a Glock, it's like, no, this is no.
Well, it's not the same as my other guns.
And Vanessa's asking if the grip angle affects your aim that much. It's not that it affects the aim. I don't like the point of aim. It doesn't feel comfortable having to tip my hand down just that little bit that with the Glock you have to do. Because you point a Glock like you would, say, a Smith & Wesson or a 1911, you're going to be shooting high every time. Because you got to tilt that muzzle down to fit that angle. And it's just not, I don't find that comfortable.
Me either. I'm with you. And like I said, it just, to me personally, it just feels really weird holding a Glock. I love those new waffles, those PPQs. Man, I love the way those feel in your hand. They are comfortable, and the way they got those grips designed, it's almost like your hand just melts into the gun. So, that's probably going to be the next handgun purchase, is one of those. I've just fell in love with that PPQ grip. We've got one at the shop. picked it up several times. I mull it over. Do I like it? Do I want it? Do I want to spend the money on it? Because we've also got a CZ in there that I absolutely love. But I like the trigger better on the PPQ. I like the way the PPQ feels in my hand better than I do the CZ. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to end up buying that PPQ in a 45. I know G Webs will be happy about that one. And speaking of G Webs, I'm going to pull one of his little tricks out tonight. G Webs likes to go visiting different gun shops and, talk about them. Well, today I went to a few of the shops around Savannah. And there's a couple of them I'd like to mention here tonight. CRC Guns and Weaponry, great little shop, great people. If you're in Savannah or around the area, that's one to stop into. Another one was the Gun Shop Inc. And again, great people. Two great little gun shops there. Stop in, guys. If you're in the area, say hello to these folks. They're good folks. If you can afford to spend a little money, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. I bought actually a ratchet belt today, the first one I've ever owned, and I really like this thing. Once you get them cut down to where they actually fit you properly, man, these things are wonderful. Very quick and easy to get on and off. The release is very simple on them. You can tighten them or loosen them as much as you need and do so very quickly. So, if you've thought about buying one, I would suggest it. And the one I got is from a company called Cardini. They apparently make a bunch of leather products, holsters and such, but they did make this belt, and I love it. So, if you're looking for a good belt, try to find one of those. They seem to be pretty good. I'll give a full review on it in the next little while, once I've wore it some and actually have some real life experience with it. But so far, as much as I've worn it today, I really like it. But that could change in the next week, so who knows? But yeah, if you're in the area and looking for a decent little gun shop to visit, that'd be two good choices right there. And they got some absolutely great deals. And if I'd have had a little bit more cash, I'd have probably walked out of there today with an Osaka that they had that was gorgeous.
You were going to buy a city in Japan?
Yeah. Or whatever the name of that Japanese rifle was.
The Arasaka?
Yeah, that one.
Osaka is a city. Arasaka.
Yeah, the Arasaka, yes. I got that, yes. But it's a beautiful gun. It was an absolutely gorgeous rifle. They also had a P-38. And I seen that and my mouth started watering. I was like, oh, I can own Megatron.
How much did they want for that?
$1,000.
Did it still have the Nazi markings on it?
Yes.
Yeah, they had one here that was like that had the Nazi markings and stuff on it, and the holster and the cleaning rod and everything. Then only $750 for it.
And it was in great shape for what it was. So I was like, ooh, this is pretty.
Yeah, $1,000 just seems a little high.
It was apparently they were it was from an estate sale or something They were taking care of the guys' guns. They were selling the guys' guns. So, and everything in there had been appraised.
Seven Wonder says if you buy Osaka, he wants in on that deal.
Yeah. Arasaka. I also seen a couple of Mausers. They were okay, but I think the favorite one I seen was that P-38. That was sweet. And the other shop that I went into had a German Luger in there. They were wanting about $750 for it.
For a Luger?
Yep.
$750.
$750 for Luger, yes.
Did you look at it?
Yeah, I looked at it.
I mean, you actually held it, not looked at it. I mean, but you were actually inspecting it and stuff?
No, I didn't pick it up.
What the hell not at that price, man? I'd have been all over that thing.
Well, if I had a choice between the Luger and the P-38, I took the P-38. I mean,
not at 1,000.
Oh yeah, I would have.
1,000's high. Yeah,
maybe it might be high, but it was a beautiful gun.
$750 on that Luger, that's a good price, depending on the condition and everything. That's why I was asking if you actually got a chance to inspect it.
No, I didn't. I didn't even bother taking it out, dude. Wasn't no sense in it. I didn't have the money to buy it, so I couldn't help myself with the P-38. I have wanted one of those since 1983, 84. About the time I figured out what Megatron actually was.
Yeah.
So one of these days I'll have one.
What TV show inspired Megatron?
What TV show inspired Megatron?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Do you know, Gary?
What was the question again?
What TV show inspired Megatron?
Oh, I don't know.
It was a 60s spy show.
A
60s I Spy?
Get Smart?
No.
It's not I Spy. It's Man from Uncle?
Yep. If you remember, one of them carried a P-38 that they turned into a rifle all the time.
Okay.
Well, there's a piece of history I didn't remember.
Yep, that's where they got the idea for Megatron. To have him be the P-38.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I've said for a long time.
At a comic convention by somebody who worked for Marvel. So
if they wanted to make a Transformers movie and modernize Megatron to get him up to standards or current standards, they could take Megatron's design and easily fit him into one of those 44 auto mags.
Well, to be perfectly honest, the whole idea of Megatron being a P-38 is kind of absurd anyway. I mean, the modern toys, if you look at them from the cartoons and everything, Megatron's been a tank. And that makes a hell of a lot more sense because that's going to be something that's going to turn into a robot the size of Megatron. A P-38, not so much.
You have to remember that certain Transformers had the innate ability to generate weight, mass, and size as they transform and can control that.
It's still, I'm sorry, a P-38 turning into something the size of Megatron, and it just doesn't. No, I'm not buying that.
Well, buy it or not, it's the way it works. Because if you've ever watched the cartoons,
I've watched the cartoons, and there's only a few of them that ever went from being something super small to something big. You never saw Optimus Prime turning into something bigger than what he would be as a semi.
Yeah, But you got other ones like Astro Train who could turn into like a freight train, and
Astro Train was
then go right back to space shuttle.
Astro Train was huge in all his forms.
Yeah, but even
He didn't
still,
he didn't inherently change size like Megatron did.
yeah,
Or Soundwave
exactly. I mean, there's episodes where you see a human being shooting Megatron, and then
did.
in
Yeah, I
other
know. When you
episodes you see Starscream shooting Megatron.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just don't buy that part. I'm sorry, I never did buy into the whole. Granted, and this is somebody whose favorite Transformer was Megatron. I just don't buy into the whole P-38 and I never did, turning into a giant robot.
Well, I always just accepted that it was an innate ability that he had, and there's several others that had the same ability.
No, there were two. There were two that ever went from anything super small to something gigantic, and that was Megatron and Soundwave.
Yeah, and again, well, Master Blaster as well.
No, that was just Blaster. He was an Autobot, but he was the same thing as Soundwave. I mean, that was the Autobots version of Soundwave.
Yeah, but he turned into a boombox, and
yes, I know. I had the toy.
Yeah, so did I. So, but it's the same principle,
I know, but it's not believable. Megatron being a tank, like they make him now, I got one of them somewhere, is more believable than a P-38. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, if you're going to go that route, then you were talking about how big Astro Train was.
Astro Train was freaking huge.
Astro Train was huge, but if you're going to say that, well, Astro Train should transform into something the size of, I don't know, Devastator.
Astro Train was. Did you ever actually see Astro Train next to Megatron in the cartoons?
Yes.
He was much bigger than Megatron.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, not when he transformed.
Yes,
He wasn't.
we were just watching Transformers the other day. Astro Train was freaking massive. He wasn't quite as big as Devastator, but he was freaking massive for a single transforming robot in that show.
And I'm trying to remember the name of the that other transformer, the one transformed into the aircraft carrier.
I don't remember one turning into an aircraft carrier.
Bulkhead.
I don't remember Bulkhead. Honestly, I don't remember Bulkhead.
He transformed into I think it was a cargo plane and then an aircraft carrier. He was a triple changer.
I don't remember that one.
He was huge. Well,
look at Metroplex. Or
yeah,
Supreme.
Yeah, he turned. Those are city size.
Yeah, they dwarfed Devastator.
Yeah.
There was an episode where the Constructicons formed Devastator because they were getting ready to attack the Autobot base. All of a sudden, the Metroplex is transformed into a robot, and Devastator's just standing there and looking up and up and up and up and turns and runs. That was freaking hilarious.
Well, there was also an episode where Devastator was just kicking everybody's butt, and then Hound puts out a hologram out there and just sort of.
Devastator was kind of on the stupid side.
Well, yeah. You had 5 minds working in one body.
Well, those 5 minds weren't the smartest either.
Well, exactly.
The Constructicons were idiots.
And you also have to figure out, the show writers couldn't even figure out who created the Constructicons.
Oh, I know.
I mean, nobody knows where the Constructicons actually came from. They're just sort of there one day.
The comics, Megatron had them created. Originally in the TV show, Megatron had them created to combat the Dinobots. And then somewhere along the line, somebody, I think, forgot and had the Constructicons where they were friends with Omega Supreme on Cybertron before they became Decepticons. They're like, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah, exactly.
If you look at the origin story of Devastator in both the comics and in the original one in the TV show, they were created by Destro. What am I saying? Destro.
I don't know.
They were related shows. I mean, Cobra Commander actually appeared in an episode of Transformers.
Yes, he did. Third season.
For people who don't know, he went by the name. Everybody was just calling him Cobra. But,
at the very end of the episode, he gave out the Cobra yell and started coughing and hacking. Cobra.
Yeah. But Megatron created them specifically to fight the Dinobots. That was what their original origin was.
Yeah, and they are definitely in the same universe, and most people don't realize that. But G.I. Joe, the Transformers, same universe. There's been several crossovers.
Particularly in the comics. The comics, especially when Marvel originally had them, there was crossovers all the time with the Transformers.
It's weird how that happened. It is weird. Now, the Image comics was a bit different, though. Because Image did have them for a little while, didn't they? If I'm not mistaken.
They may have. There's been a couple different companies.
Yeah, there's been several. I might be wrong about it being Image, but I know that there's been several different companies to have comic book versions of the Transformers with various degrees of success. But unlike over on Match Chat, I will say this. My favorite will always be the Gen 1s. They were just the coolest.
Have you seen what I have sitting on my stereo speaker? Were you there when I was showing that off?
I'm not sure.
I have the re-release of Devastator.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it's just like the original. Including the part where once you get them together, you don't want to take them back apart because he doesn't want he's a pain in the ass to put together.
So you had all 6 pieces.
They come in a set. The only way you get Devastator is to buy the whole big set. It was $75.
And you had them all.
I got all of them sitting right over there.
That is cool, dude.
And I also have Starscream and Hot Rod.
What is the deal with Hot Rod? I never did like Hot Rod.
But it was one of the first molds they find. They're going through the old warehouse, and as they find the molds, they're going to be re-releasing more of them.
I don't know how true it is, but I was told they're actually doing one of the bringing back the Dinobots, and they're going to make them combiners. They're going to find a 6th one to actually use to make them a combiner set.
This is the new Grimlock. He forms the torso and the head.
Really?
It only takes all 5. It only takes all 5 of the Dinobots to do it.
Okay.
And they're doing a bunch of them. It's not just the Dinobots. There's a whole series of them. I could connect different Transformers to him, not just the Dinobots. If I have certain ones will form hands, certain ones will form legs, and whatnot. And his weapons, which are attached, which I have attached to his legs right now, because it makes it where I can make him stand up like this in dinosaur form the feet of the giant robot that you build using him.
All right. Well, that is cool, dude. See, folks, you never know what you're going to get listening to this crap. It could be guns. It could be.
There's the head of the giant robot.
Okay.
This Dinobot, this Grimlock has 3 heads.
How does he have 3 heads? Why does he have 3 heads?
Well, he's got the T-Rex head. Then he's got the Grimlock head, the robot head, and then he's got the giant robot head. 3 heads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I wonder how big those are actually going to be if you put them all together and as one.
He's going to be huge. He's going to be huge because the other ones are just about the same size he is. They've had a couple of them at the local Walmart. Eventually, I'm going to get all of them and put them together. But yeah, I can actually make him stand up in the correct formation. Remember how Grimlock was always standing with his tail dragging? That's the old school method because they came to realize when they were putting these dinosaur skeletons together that if you actually had a T-Rex standing like that, you're breaking his back.
Yeah.
I can actually make that one stand in the proper method that a T-Rex actually should be standing in. It's because of the way his weapon's attached to the side of his legs.
Does he still have those that weird double barrel rocket launcher thing?
No, his are giant claws that have cannon on them that form the feet of the giant robot in this one.
Okay.
And each one of them comes with armor pieces that forms some part of it, like the hands or the what. One of them comes with a sword that the giant robot will use. Another one comes with a gun. So they all come with different parts of the giant robot.
Well, Rich, I am going to contact one of my ex-employers. I might have mentioned this before, but I know the guy who is the road manager for Fozzie. I used to work for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to talk to him and see if he can arrange an interview with me and Chris Jericho. And if he can, I'm going to see if we could do that on one of mine and Sarge's wrestling chats.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if he as busy as Jericho is.
He is very busy.
He's always doing something.
Yeah. Well, he tried. The thing about it is, what would probably have to happen. I would probably have to catch him after one show, going to another somewhere else. Have the chat on a bus or something.
Yeah, that might be the only way.
Yeah. Oh, I know how busy he is because I used to. Me and the boss man used to have long discussions about what his trips were like.
Did you ever listen to the episode of his podcast where he was talking about the deal with him getting to All In and everything?
Yeah, yeah, it was a pain.
Yeah, and oh my, they were so lucky they got somebody who was willing not to release anything until after the show. That guy
Yeah.
could have blew everything right there, you know.
Yep. He had to work miracles to get everything to line up the way it did for
Well,
him to.
the when he was talking about how they got Pentagon Junior's costume to look right, they went right into the what was it, Home Depot to get paint and stuff.
Yep.
Oh man.
But yeah, I'm gonna try to get a hold of Sam and see if I can possibly figure out a way to get him on. No guarantees, of course, but I thought about it before, and then I was like, do I really want to do that? I mean, eh. But now that we're actually starting this new wrestling show once a week or once every other week or however often we're going to end up doing it, it would be nice. And if I could get just one of them to come on, just one of those guys, that would open the door to get others to agree to come on, I think. It's just a matter of getting the first one to agree.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, um, and again, anybody out there that knows any of those old school wrestlers from the 80s, early 90s, up to the mid 90s, you know, 20 years ago and beyond, um, send me an email if you think you can get them on one of the wrestling chats because I'd love to talk to these guys. I'm sure Sergeant or Rich One would have hundreds of questions for them. I mean, it would just be nice to have a, a conversation with somebody that was actually there. that could tell us some of the backstage stories that had went on that we still don't know anything about.
Yeah. And the
You
thing
know,
with Jericho, he's not much older than we are.
no, he's not.
I guarantee you, I could sit there and talk not just wrestling with him, but music and stuff too.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing about Jericho. He did an interview years ago talking about him getting into the business, and he's not the biggest guy in the world. Everybody knows that.
No, he's
But
not much older than I am. Height wise, he's like
yeah,
6'1", and I
I
weigh more than he
think
does.
he's like 5'11".
Is he only 5'11"? I thought he was
Yeah,
6'1". Well, hell,
and
I'm bigger than
he was talking to Ricky Steamboat, who he's talking to, and he had walked up to Ricky and asked him how tall he was, and Ricky told him, and Ricky's not a tall guy either.
no.
He's my height, and uh, Ricky told him, and that's just opened the door for Chris. I mean, he was like, wow, if he's only like 5'10", 5'11", and he's doing it, I can do it. So
Jericho took an interesting route going through the Hart Dungeon. That was not an easy wrestling school to go through.
did Jericho go through the dungeon?
Yes. Jericho was a graduate of the dungeon.
I knew Chris Benoit went through it. And then uh, they said Stu Hart would actually torture those poor kids.
That's the way they all did it. I mean, Harley Race was supposed to have been a bastard to people that went to his wrestling school. And same with Killer Kowalski.
Oh yeah,
Kowalski had to train
Kowalski would make them run stairs and everything else.
Yeah, well, we did that when I played high school football. I mean, that Marine stairs.
Yeah. He'd run them through the stairs, get them into the ring, then beat them up for a while, tell them to run again. Some of the stories that you can find on YouTube about these guys getting their asses handed to them, and they'd laugh about it. Can't take it. You can leave anytime you want to. There's the door. I mean, I cannot imagine most of the guys that's in the business right now coming up the way like a Ric Flair did or an Ole Anderson.
5'9", 5'11". Outside of WWE's
WWE. Chris Jericho is not 5'9", okay?
No, he's
looking it up, and that's why I said, I don't know if you heard what she was saying now, but she's got somebody saying that they had him booked at 5'9".
No, WWE has him booked at 6. So WWE makes everybody bigger.
Well, weight-wise and everything, yeah, he's around 6 foot or so. I can believe the 6 foot that the WWE has for him. 5'9"? No.
The one that's consistent in the listing is the 5'11".
5'11", 6 foot. Yeah. I can buy that.
That's the one that's most consistent stuff.
But and there's no way I'm buying that Jericho's only 6. I mean, yes, 5'9", because I've seen him standing again near with other guys that were taller than 6 foot, and he wasn't all that much shorter than them.
I don't know.
You try to tell me that Jericho's as short as Ghost Tactical? Come on.
Ghost is like what, 5'6", 5'7", so.
Now Ghost says he's 5'9", if I remember right. Clover's like 5'8", I think.
No, Clover's 3'2" on a good day.
So what you're saying is Clover wears stilts?
Yeah.
Makes sense. He's a leprechaun.
Exactly. Now you're getting it. A little leprechaun with his little shoes. He probably wears a size, half shoe.
Yeah. Getting back to the Transformers.
with a solid gold buckle. You know.
Remember these ones?
Yeah, the Insecticons.
Yeah. So far, the only one they're remaking is Shrapnel. I have not seen any of the other.
You haven't seen Kickback or
No, the only one I've seen, at least the only one I've seen in the stores, I haven't looked online, was Shrapnel. I got here.
ladies and gentlemen, right there is proof that grown men still play with Transformers.
Damn straight. And I'm not ashamed to admit it.
No, neither am I. That's a cool hat you're wearing, by the way.
Yeah, like my Ghost Tactical Masio cap.
Yeah, that is nice.
More majority to be willing to admit it than trying to deny it.
You and Gary are always wearing the most trendy hats around.
Styling and profiling, man.
Hey, watch that shit. You ain't Ric Flair.
I could go Punisher too if I wanted to.
I'll see. Like I said, you always got the most stylish hats on.
Oh, did you saw the picture of my Nutcracker, right?
No, and I'm not sure I want
No. The Christmas Nutcracker.
Okay. I was thinking that was going to go a whole different direction.
No. Me too.
No. It's a Christmas season. I was talking about an actual Nutcracker. Yeah. This isn't a midnight range thing.
Oh, well. Speaking of that, I'm surprised he's not in here. I'm actually very surprised he's not in here.
I got the soldier one.
I haven't seen him since last night.
Yeah, Clover was all showing off his angel that was wearing camo and had a rifle, so I had to go and post my soldier Nutcracker.
It don't matter, dudes. You've got a Grimlock and a TIE Fighter. What else do you need?
I don't got the TIE Fighter yet.
Well, it's right behind you.
Where do I get? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's my Bluetooth speaker.
That is cool.
I forgot all about that one. But I'm getting another one because who's making them toys now? Is it Hasbro?
I'm not sure.
They're they're doing the I think it is Hasbro because they're the ones that are doing the Transformers re-releases. They're doing Star Wars re-releases too. My son for Christmas got me the re-release of the original TIE Fighter.
Now that's nice.
Where they re-updated the figures too, to where they're actually posable now.
Yeah, the only thing that's a little bit different is going to be the pilot because you can actually bend his legs where you can fit him in the cockpit easier. But other than that, it looks exactly like the original.
Huh. Yeah, the Star Wars toys were always a pain in the ass in that regard. You actually had to fight with them to get them in anything.
Except for the land speeder. The land speeder was the only vehicle that was easy to get those figures in. I think that's because it was open top, you know?
Yeah. See, you folks left one nerd chat and walked right into another one.
That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly. This is just the way we roll around here.
You know, I'm gonna have to bail on you because I gotta get bed and get up in the morning and go to work.
Well, see, I got to do that too, and I got to be in work early tomorrow. So
I gotta be up in 5 hours and 20 minutes.
I don't know if you guys saw this one sitting on the stand beside me. By the way, this is the new Bumblebee,
and it's
the Volkswagen Bug Bumblebee.
Very good.
Anyway, you guys have a good one, and thanks for the invite, Alice.
Yes, sir. You have a good night. Probably ain't gonna keep this thing going too much longer anyway, because like I said, I also have to be at work in the morning.
Yeah, I don't want to be grumpy tomorrow. I want to be my normal, smiling, ever so happy self out there.
When are you anything but grumpy?
Here's a little itty bitty Thundercracker.
Good night, guys.
Good night, buddy.
See you later, Gary. He doesn't turn fully into a jet though. He turns more into like one of the Guardian modes or whatever it was that the Robotech fighter VF. I can't. You know what I'm talking about? The
Yeah.
VF ones.
Yes, I know
That's
exactly
kinda
what
like,
the
yeah,
Veritex.
he turns more into like one of their Guardian modes.
I'm like Matt. I'm extremely excited about them finally getting the Robotech movie off the ground.
I'll
It is
believe it
in
when I see it.
it is in production, and I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, and I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh, the proof is going to be in who they get the act to play out the parts, the actors. Because if they get the right actors, it's going to be a great movie. If they get the wrong actors, it's just going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
And then the right director, of course. They would have to find a director that knows the story and will hold true to it.
They have to find a writer that knows the story.
Well,
But yeah, see, he turns like into a Guardian mode, but it is Thundercracker. So
Someone is going to just treat it like another Hollywood affair.
I can't show you the Starscream stuff because he's upstairs. But if you remember the original Starscream, he
of
doesn't look anything
course.
like he did in the cartoon. The toys were not the best done on some of them. Oh, by the way, have you seen the deluxe edition of Megatron that comes out of Japan?
Mm-mm. No, I have not.
Looks exactly like the cartoon version, but you're going to pay, if you get the actual Japanese version of them, upwards of $250. The Chinese knockoff version, which looks pretty damn close as well, you're going to pay 100 and something for that one.
That's because the original one, they over there in Japan, a lot of their toy makers companies whatnot take a certain level of pride in how they make their toys and the materials they use.
Right.
All that kind of stuff is incredibly expensive.
Yeah. I think it's Tomy that makes the Japanese version. They're the same ones that did the re-release of the Robotech toys, and those things looked really good. I don't know if you
Yes.
saw the deluxe edition Robotech.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same company.
I don't know, man. I look at these things and I think back, to when I was a kid and how excited I was every time something new was to come out, and it was like, wow. I mean, I remember the first time I got my and the first Transformer that I had ever got was Hound, and I love that thing so much. And then I got some of the others. There was Starscream. Um, who else did I end up with? A bunch of them. I had Hound, Starscream, Ironhide, Ratchet, Wheeljack. Uh, who was the red Ferrari? Can't remember his name right offhand.
I can't either.
Uh, but I had that one. I had a slew of them, man. Uh, I had. Oh shit! See now the names are. I had not Shockwave. Yeah, Shockwave. My brother had. I had Shockwave. My brother had Soundwave. I had Jetfire or Skyfire, depending on who you're talking to.
Did you have the original version or the retrofitted version after the loss?
I had the original. Yes.
For those who don't know the story behind Jetfire, originally he was the same kind of style of jet as the VF1 from Robotech and Macross
It was
series.
identical. He
Yeah.
was identical.
Oh, yeah, he even had the markings. He was Jetfire was the VF1S. He was the original version was the Roy Fokker BF1. He was Skull 1. And they got sued. They had to change the design on him.
But even after the design changed, he looked so much like that it really didn't matter. Anybody that knew Robotech knew exactly what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, well, after the redesign, he didn't come with the rocket packs and everything, the booster pack that the VF1 would, because they turned him from being a jet fighter into being some kind of spacecraft, which is why his name changed from being Jetfire to Starfire.
Skyfire.
Skyfire, yeah, you know what I mean.
No, yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm not sure anybody else knows what we're talking about at all, unless they're 50 years old and a super geek, much like us.
Yeah, I'm not 50, man. Got 6 years to go. Give me.
I take a particular insult to that one too.
Hey,
yeah,
I will.
She's only 23.
Yeah, well, hold on a minute. Think about this. I am 45. On the 19th of this month, I will be 46. So there is that.
Yeah.
So I'm the old geezer in the group. I give Clover hell about how old he is.
I think Clover's younger than I am.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks older. No. Just kidding.
But I'm the oldest one of the group, other than Yankee, I think. And G, I think G might have me by a few years. But and I probably act the youngest. So
yeah, A&A says he's 52 and not a super geek.
You ain't hung around us long enough yet, then give me time. Give me time.
I had the distinction
Well,
in high
Vanessa,
school.
you don't look a day over 20, darling.
Well, happy belated birthday, Vanessa.
Yeah. The greatest people in the world are all born in December. You realize that, right?
When I was in high school, I was in junior RTC. I was pretty geekish then, but I was also on the football team. Yeah, I was. My high school did not fit the norms of what you see in high schools. Everybody wasn't hanging out. You didn't have the geeks hanging out together and the jocks hanging out together. Everybody was all intermixed.
Oh, of course.
I don't know where these stereotypical things come from, but it wasn't my high school. I went to an inner city high school.
Okay, guys. Well, we've been going about an hour, a little over an hour. I'm going to call this one done for the night. I appreciate everybody that's been hanging out there, talking to us, keeping the conversation going. Guys, remember, go out and support your local gun shops. I did that today, spent a little money. I didn't have a whole lot to spend, but every shop I went into, I did buy something.
Oh, speaking of that, did you see what I'm also getting for Christmas the other day when I was talking about that?
No, sir, I did not.
I'm getting the Henry, the Black 22 long rifle.
Cool.
The one with the nice walnut and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for my kids all work at the local Walmart, right? And they get a 10% discount. And then on top of that, for Thanksgiving and Black Friday, they were each given a black card, which gave them another 15% off. So my son used his discount and the bonus discount and got me the Henry.
That is cool, man. That is cool. Anyway, Armin, I seen you out there, buddy. I'm still wanting to do that interview with you, boy. So see what you can do to arrange that. Hook us up. I'd love to get Hank on the show sometime, have a one-on-one with him. So, anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. You got anything to plug, Rich?
Let's see, we got Hit or Miss tomorrow night. If No Strike sends me a link, you can send me a link for his Friday show, the bastard. And I don't know if Sarge is doing his show this Thursday or not, or if it's going to be Saturday, but we got that coming up. And then we got This Week Unloaded over on the Media channel Sunday night at 8. And then after that, usually if Midnight's doing his show, because he didn't this past weekend, be on there too. So on the closer, that's any time after 10:30 when he starts that out. So yeah, that's what I got.
All right, cool. And remember, Ghost Tacticals tomorrow night as well. Daily
Yes.
Gun Show should be going on right now, and it will go on every weeknight at midnight. So
And
go
guys,
there, check out G Wed, support him.
yep. And all y'all out there, if you haven't done it yet, check out the contest or sweepstakes, whatever you want to terminology you want to use on it, that Ghost and Clover have going right now. They are giving away a 20 gauge shotgun, folks.
Yes, they are.
And all the accessories to go with it.
And I will be putting out a video in the next couple of days describing how you can get involved in my 500 sub giveaway. So be looking for that. And guys, that's it for me tonight. I appreciate you all for hanging out, stopping in, and saying hello. If anybody has anything you'd like to hear us discuss on the show, shoot me an email, theoutlawhatfield@gmail.com or ellishatfield@gmail.com. Either way will get to me. All the information for my Patreon is at the bottom of the screen. So in the comment section down there. So anybody that wants to support the channel. Well, gee, I am sorry. Or you could look at it like this: we quirked each other's shows. You know, possibly that we could look at it like that. But yes, Twitter, Patreon, it's all down there in the description. So if y'all want to support the show there, feel free. And y'all have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Yeah. I love you, G. I love everybody. Good night, y'all.
Catch y'all folks later.